the difference. God's the same. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's the same God in Africa or, Zimbabwe or Mexico as he is here. I think that we put our faith in God's provision, what's in his hand, that's available to us more easily accessible. So if somebody comes up and says, oh my gosh, you've broken your leg, we're like, oh my gosh, we need to run you to the hospital real quick. We've got, this insurance or that, and we've got a doctor that's available. Well, the person who doesn't have insurance or doesn't have access to the doctor, they command the bone to fuse. And when somebody dies, we have a tendency to have a faith level that puts focus in on the doctor instead of the great physician, Jesus. And if we would put our faith back into Jesus, I think we would see a whole lot more miracles in the United States. Wherever we go, we see miracles. And yet we go into churches where they never see miracles, yet the minute God sends us there, he shows up because he's the same. Whether it's a Presbyterian, a Lutheran, a Baptist, a Pentecostal, doesn't matter. The streets, the highways, the byways, he's the same God. I think we need to look to him as the God who raises the dead, not just the God who saves the soul. And I think whatever we see him as, whatever we perceive him as, we can receive him as. If we see him as the God who raises the dead, who raised his own son from the dead, who raised all the prophets from the dead when Jesus died on the cross, I think we'll see a whole lot more of the God who raises the dead in the here and now, if we'll just believe him for what he said. I would say that it's time to really seek God. Get out of the theology books and get into neology. Get on our knees and ask the Lord if these things be so. And I think that we need to spell faith a little differently. We need to spell it R-I-S-K, risk. And that's really what faith is. When the Israelite boys went into the fiery furnace, it was risk. When David went against Goliath, it was risk. When Moses held his staff all night for the Red Sea to part, he's got the army of Pharaoh on him, it's risk. I come from an environment where I was in prison for 20 years, so we had a lot of risk, but it was forced situations. I think when I got out and I walked into churches, there's not a lot of risk that needs to be taken. We just need to keep the boat moving. But we also don't see a lot of miracles because miracles are a product of faith or risk. Peter did the miracle to walk on the water because he got out of the boat. He took a risk. The key was Jesus bid him to come. Lord, do you want me to do this? I'll step out for you.